The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O, the R, the K. Look yourself in the face. Look yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, are you giving 120% every day? Every play? Give me 120 or don't give me nothing at all. The guy you competing against, you haven't outworked him. You've not outworked the person next to you. You've not out-hustled them. You've not out-grind them. You've not outdone them. You're not locked in. Bring all your passion. Bring heart. Every single game, every single play. Put forth 120% or don't ask nobody to do nothing with it. The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. We are up. We're at it. Get ready to get into this market. Get ready to do our thing. Get ready to look at this market, man. What a fucking mess, man. This thing's up. It's down. It's up. It's down. It's all over the place. Great opportunities, but man, holy cow, can't call it, right? Can't call this thing, baby. You don't know what's happening from hour to hour or day to day, but we here to talk about it. We're gonna look at it. It's hump day, baby. It's Wednesday, man. It's gonna be a great day today, So go ahead, everybody, smash that like button, smash that share button. Go ahead, and if you're new here, smash that subscribe button as well. We are up. We're at it. We're getting ready to get into the market. Look at this thing. Do our thing. Try to figure out what the heck is going on. Got a lot of stuff going on. Looks like Japan's coming over here to the United States today. Going to talk to the Trump administration about some of these tariffs. Japan's a big deal. Want to make sure we get that market straightened out over there. We'll see what's coming. A little discouraging though that we haven't heard of any big any deals being struck yet on this tariff situation. I thought for sure by now we would see some deals getting struck, but conversations are conversations. They got to have these conversations in order to get to the deal. So let's get to the deal. Let's figure it out, baby. But it's Wednesday. It's going to be a great day, regardless, because we going to make money no matter what. So, we up, we at it. Let's do it. What's up, Junior? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy hump day to you. Yeah, smash that like button. My man Selmo, my man 50 grand. What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning, my brother. How are you? How are you? Elmo, good morning, man. Good morning. Be safe, Elmo. I hope you're doing well. Man right there, my man Elmo. You better watch out. My man's on the prowl. He's looking for that next gem. Diamond in the rough, baby. Man, Elmo always on the prowl for a good deal. Hey, yeah, it's my guy right there. So, what's up, Junior, man? How are you, man? It's snowing here, brother. I know you don't got no snow down there, man, but it's snowing here, man. I'm mad as hell about it. Mad as hell. Wake up to some snow, man. Right? They try to ruin my morning, Junior, but you know what? Snow, man, it is what it is. It'll go away at some point, man. We'll get to some warmer weather, like you, my brother. But man, I be honest with you, brother. I had it, Junior. I had it. They try to ruin my morning, but we all good. It's all good, man. So let's go ahead. Let's get up. Let's get after this thing, baby. Got the Asian markets. They ain't trade so well. European markets in the tank. United States markets in the tank. None of it's looking good. Yo, Ken, what's going on, brother? Good morning, good early afternoon to you, my brother. How are you? United States pre-markets ain't looking too hot either. Looks like everything gonna open down. No surprise. I mean, this market is up, it's down, it's all over the freaking place. In another hour, these things could probably all flip green and market could go crazy. But you know what? Hey, money's money. We're gonna make it, baby. When there's blood in the streets, these dogs will eat, baby. These dogs will eat. So, got NVIDIA. NVIDIA is looking like it's going to post some earnings that aren't going to be that favorable to everybody. this quarter, can the outlook's not going to be that favorable. Can you blame them? Can you blame them? Really, where we at, right? Right, where we really at in this market. So United Airlines is taking off this morning though, because they gave two outlooks this morning. They gave an outlook for if we don't go into a recession. They gave an outlook if we did go into a recession. So, good for them. A lot of these companies should do that, and now their stock is taking off. So we'll see what's up this morning as these things start to move on. Go ahead. Let's take a look at the debt market, right? This is where the United States, this is where all the world's debt basically sits. And they're selling off like crazy. Oil ain't looking too bad. Looks like oil's starting to come back up. And you guys know this is where the big money is over here in oil. Gold definitely starting to tick up with these markets being down. Gold is starting to really tick up, and like I've been telling you guys for a while now, if you want to invest in gold and you're on the crypto side, check out PaxG. Definitely peg to gold. And Selmo brought us the Tether Gold one the other day. I mess around with PaxG. I go back and watch before, tell you why, but PaxG is pegged to gold, and gold is doing well, silver's doing well, so everybody's moving a lot of their money to precious metals, it looks like. So markets are the markets, man. We're gonna see where they go. Tech's getting hit right now. Meta, they're in that court case right now, and we'll see where that plays out. They want them to spin off, WhatsApp and Instagram. We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do with that. See if the administration steps in and helps them out a little bit. They're big donors, so we'll see. We'll see what's up. We'll see if money talks on that one, which it probably will. The SQQ, guys, this is the short. This is the short on all the tech stocks right here on the market. I did, be honest with you guys, I put in a SQQ short after hours yesterday. Fairground, good morning, good early afternoon to you. How are you? My brother? I seen the pre-markets come in last night. I just said, well, you know what? It's going to be a down day. Probably be a down day in the market. So let me go ahead and put that SQQ short in there. It will go ahead and short the tech market. The tech market. Who'll be able to say bipolar bear? Yeah, this market is bipolar, man. It's all over the place. It don't know what it wants to do. One day, 1 minute is happy, 1 minute is not, 1 minute is happy, 1 minute is not, man. It's like this is acting like a woman, man. It's all over the place. It's bipolar, man. Just jumped in. How's Bitcoin doing? Haven't got there yet. We just started, brother. We just started. So we good. You good. You ain't late. You didn't miss nothing. So yeah, this market is bipolar, man. It's all over the place, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is and it isn't. You know what I'm saying? It is and it isn't. You see Bitcoin. Bitcoin's taking the majority of the cryptocurrency right now. So we'll see. The market's gonna run how Bitcoin runs. You know what I'm saying? So when Bitcoin's up, the market will be good. Bitcoin's down. We're definitely in Bitcoin season. You got fear greed index sitting at 29 over here in crypto. Definitely starting to tick up just a little bit. Went from 28 to 29. Still in fear. I expect us to get to neutral here in a minute. I think the market's kind of settling in a little bit. And we'll see. I do expect us to kind of get to neutral. I think that's where we need to be, is in neutral. I think that's kind of what the market's saying right now. Just kind of hold on. No, don't be in fear. Just be in neutral. But we do buy fear. So when we look at the altcoin season, 15 out of 100. So about the same as we were on Monday. Really not a lot of movement there, but there, as far as the numbers go, but there is a little bit of movement there. You see some money starting to come out of altcoins, and we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, Junior, go ahead, smash that. Everybody, smash that like button, smash that share button, and go ahead, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well. Channel really appreciates it. If you're over there on X, hit that heart button, hit that follow button. Really appreciate it. Got a market cap sitting at 2.64 trillion. Down a little bit from Monday, just a tick, not much. But call it sideways, right? Not a lot of movement there in the overall cryptocurrency market, right? You'll hit the like button if I quit fudding, man. I don't fud nothing, man. I just tell the truth. I don't fud. But you got the ETFs, the big ETFs. Looks like they're up. Looks like they're moving. They're moving to the upside, which is good. This is a good sign for crypto. That they're actually moving to the upside. Yesterday, you had Bitcoin at a positive 76.4 million, and Ethereum though is at a negative 14.2 million. So it looks like Bitcoin is really running the market when it comes to the ETFs. No shock there, but yeah, Bitcoin put in a good day on the ETFs yesterday. 79.4 million. That's a good day to carry this market. But if Ethereum would come on, you would see this plus 62.2 mil. You would have seen that. A lot higher. But you got to factor in the Ethereum sell-offs there as well. But yeah, definitely Bitcoin's carrying that ETF market. Hopefully soon, we'll be looking at some more ETFs in this ETF market over here. XRP looks to be like the next one that's going to come out, which makes all the sense in the world that XRP would be the next one to come out. Looks like that's going to be the case. We do got to review a little bit of what's going on, but with the XRP ETFs, but definitely, there will be more here to come. I do expect Solana and Litecoin to have their ETFs approved as well pretty soon. So we'll see what's up. Seiko, what's up, boy? What's up, man? What's up? What we fudding today, Seiko? What we fudding today, baby? Let's fud something. What we fudding? Let's fud. Yeah, I think a world reserve is coming. I think you're gonna see. I don't know about a whole world reserve, but I do think that you'll see a bunch of nations link up and they'll start a crypto stockpile. I still waiting to see if XRP can pay an XRP to the government because I would like to see that XRP go into the stockpile and basically be staked away. That's basically what's going to happen. They'll probably pull it out of the reserves, like they do, and then they'll stake it away, and then it'll be staked away. So it'll hurt the price for a minute, but I think long term it's better. And I hope they do pay an XRP. I hope they can work that deal out. Just because, I'd like to see that come out of that reserve and be staked away. We got the Bitcoin dominance. Look at this thing ticking up 63.1%, Ethereum 7.2%. And here's where I say to you guys, like that altcoin season's probably gonna fall back a little bit. You got altcoins at 29.7%. This thing was around 31% last time we streamed. So you see some money coming out of altcoins and definitely moving back into Bitcoin as you see Bitcoin tick up just a little bit here. So definitely, Bitcoin season just seems to be like winter around here in New York. It just wants to hang around. Doesn't want to go anywhere. Just wants to hang, so we'll see. We got to, my assumption is that, and this is just DG's opinion, that when Bitcoin dominance gets to about 70%, you're going to see a massive altcoin rally. A massive, because you get to a certain, and I'm not saying it's going to be 70% on the dot, but it's going to be roughly, high 60, 70%. And then I think you'll see that massive altcoin rally because people have to take the profits. They got to put them somewhere. I mean, you just can't sleep in Bitcoin forever, or maybe you can. We'll see. But, at some point, this dominance is going to get so high that you have to start leaking your money somewhere. I mean, 63.1% right now, that's pretty high dominance rate. But I do think that it's going to go higher. Right around high 60, 70%, and then you'll see this massive altcoin push up. Let's see what's happening on chain, baby. Solana still sitting at number one for 24-hour trading volume, sitting at $2.5 billion right now in 24-hour trading volume. That just tells me, again, people are buying meme coins. That's where Solana's volume comes from. It's not coming from anywhere else. It's coming from meme coins, which is, it just lets me know people are starting to take a little bit of that money and put it back into some of these more riskier plays. Ethereum, 1.7 bill, teetering on that 2 billion mark. So Ethereum's hanging in there well, doing okay. BSC comes up, takes that number 3 spot away from Base again, sitting at 834 million. Base coming in at number 4, sitting at 592 million. So a little bit of downtick for Base, but you know what? Base hanging in there. Arbitrum sitting at number 5. I tell you, I've been buying the shit out of Arbitrum. I'll keep buying Arbitrum. Just the way that it kind of flew up here to number 5, and it just kind of stays at number 5. It just kind of holds on there, and just lets me know that there's a lot of volume on that chain, and it's pretty steady. It's pretty consistent. You got Sui sitting here at number 6, and there's your top 6, 266 million. So Sui comes out with a couple more projects like Whale, and they might be up there in the top 3 because that project right there is giving them guys a ton of volume. But Sui keeps coming out with projects like that. They're gonna be something. They're gonna be something to deal with here in a minute. And I think that they will. Get over here, man. Let's see what this price action got going on. Let's see what this price action. Down on a day. We're down on a day. We're in red on a day. Looks like we're in green in the hour though, which is good. Look at all that green coming in as the morning moves on. Gotta love that. Gotta love looking at that. That nice green screen. Bitcoin's at 84,000. That's good because when I woke up this morning, it was roughly around 83.5. So it definitely looks like it's coming up this morning. Ethereum dropped below the 1,600 mark. Trying to get it back, sitting at $1,583. Definitely trying to gain that 1,600 back. XRP took a step back last night, trying to come back this morning, sitting at 208. This $2 range is such of a key level for XRP, such of a key level. But I think they're gonna hold on. Barring any disaster, I think that the whales will be able to hold this thing at $2. But let's see if we can get this thing back up to 220. That's where it was before it kind of pulled, before the whole market kind of pulled back a little bit. So let's see if we can get this thing back up there. 208 though, holding on to that $2 level. I'm a buyer of XRP anytime it drops below $2. That's the whale line right there, that $2. So it looks like they'll buy it back up every time it goes down there. Solana sitting at 125. Actually, Solana's hanging on pretty good. Better than what I thought, because that volume's starting to come back. Up over there. Yo, what's going on, Heat? Good morning. What's cooking for the day, baby? Just trying to figure this market out, man. So bipolar is all over the place, man. Just gotta buy the dips, man. Just keep buying the dips, man. And it hurts me to say that because I feel like we've been saying that for 3 years, man. But you just gotta pick a couple projects out and keep buying the dips, man. Can't buy them all, right? Can't be in them all. But you pick your top 3, buy the dips. Cardano sitting at 60 cents right now. That's a dip. That might be a dip worth buying right there. Definitely a dip worth looking at. Want to come over here, right here. No, this one. let's go over here and look at this thing. It says Cardano ADA leads major slide amidst Bitcoin profit taking, and ProShares amend XRP ETF. A lot going on right there, right? So you got Cardano leading the slide backwards, obviously in a percent loss. Cardano lost a lot of market share last night and this morning, and that's why I'm saying look at that dip, because Cardano pulled back pretty strong last night. And you know, I just I don't know. We'll see where it goes this morning, but you know, I might be a buyer of that dip right there to add to my Cardano bags. Because you know, as you guys know, Cardano is now going to be interoperable with Bitcoin here, and they're going to show a little bit of that at their convention that they got coming up here pretty soon. So I just think that that's a major move for Cardano, and as they show it off a little bit. So I really like where Cardano's going. I think ADA is going to a sleeping giant here in this crypto run that we're getting ready to have. I think they're going to do a lot with the governments as well. So, you know, we'll see. They had a major slide back yesterday. Bitcoin profit taking. There was a lot of profit taking yesterday in Bitcoin. Mostly from institutional investors. I mean, you've seen the ETFs tick up, but on chain there was a lot of profit taking going on. So some of these big Bitcoin holders were taking some profits. And some shorts kind of were taking some profits as well on the way down yesterday. So kind of affects the Bitcoin price, but you know, it is what it is. And ProShare amends XRP ETF. The ETFs for XRP, you know, they're in that stage right now where when you're going to see a lot of amendments come out to these XRP ETFs, because you know, the SEC is giving them feedback and they're telling them what they want to see. They're telling them what's in their initial application, what they got to fix, what they don't like. All these conversations going back and forth. So you're going to see more and more of these amendments coming out. So you'll see ProShare make an amendment to their ETF, and then you'll see all the rest of the 17 ETFs pretty much come out and make the same amendment, right? Because these guys are just copying and pasting, right? They copy and paste the ETF and they submit it to the SEC. And then they move together. So we'll see these amendments, and you know, it's just part of the process. They're just cooking, baby. They're just over there cooking. That's all. But I'm glad that the amendment to the XRP ETFs are coming out, and people, and you know, they're sending them back for amendments, because I don't want the XRP ETFs to drop in a market like this. I think if they drop in a market like this, they're gonna flop. They're going to flop before they run, right? They'll eventually run, but they'll flop first. So I think you know, the slower you can play this market, the better off you are when it comes to them ETFs. So, you know, we'll see what happens over there, right? Let them guys cook. You know, Italy's finance minister warns U.S. stable coins pose a bigger threat than the tariffs. You know, here's the deal with this thing, right? Here's the deal with this thing. Italy, you know, the EU nation kind of not happy with these stablecoin regulations and these cross-border payments, because a lot of these cross-border payments are handled through their banks, right? They're handled through the EU banks, and you know, basically, you know, with these stablecoin regulations and these cross-border payments coming out, you know, the EU nations are now starting to figure out, you know, what they're just going to circumvent your bank. And, you know, now they're starting to get a little scared, a little testy about how that's going to affect the euro. And this goes on to explain this in this article about how the euro is going to be affected, you know, about the stablecoin regulation, cross-border payments, things like that, you know, because now they're circumventing them banks. They're not going through them, and that's going to hurt the euro. And now reality's starting to set in about blockchain. Right, about blockchain and about where we're going, and United States banks are going to get hurt too. You know, when you start moving money through crypto and doing cross-border payments and settlements, you know, without having to go through these big, huge institutions, guess what? These institutions, you know, it's going to hurt their bottom line. And Italy was the first one to come out and actually admit this. So they're running a little bit scared right now because they are the biggest settlement provider for cross-border payments with the euro. So this is going to hurt them a little bit, but it's going to hurt the United States. It's going to hurt all country banks. It's going to hurt all the countries' banking system. But this is the new banking system that we're in, and countries are going to have to get on board, or they're going to get left behind. So the stablecoin regulation is coming out in the United States. This is a big deal. Not a lot of people are talking about it. It doesn't get top priority on people's channels. Doesn't get big updates. We talk about it here though. Keep telling you guys, stablecoin regulation and then guardrails for regulation. They're all coming, and they're all going to come at the same time, and they're closer than what people think. And as these things start to roll out, you're going to start to see the reality set in that banks ain't gonna like this situation. They're gonna have to change their motto on how they work. They're gonna have to change what they do, and this is what we want, right? This is what everybody has been asking for. This is what everybody wanted, was an open and free banking system. And now that we're taking steps to get there, countries starting to cry. Well, cry on, baby, because this train's moving. Cry on. And here's another thing, like we've been talking about on this channel, and I kind of agree with this. Selma, we talk about this a lot. We're looking at some stabilization in the late second quarter. I think the reason late second quarter rebounding in the third quarter is because you have to look at these tariffs, right? And you have to say, okay, well, when do they end? When can we get some settlement? When do we know what's going to happen? When can the market start pricing this stuff in? And then how do we move forward from there? That's late second quarter, early third quarter, right? So we're going to be in this up and down market until then. We're not going anywhere. We're on ice skates right now until we can figure out what's going on with the world trade, with all of this world trade. So we're just on ice skates. That's all we are. That's where we're going to be until these things can get figured out. And that's going to be late second quarter, and then look for that rebound in the third quarter. That's kind of where I'm at. I keep saying late 2024 is where we're going to see that run, is where we're going to see that major push up. And you're going to see micro push ups if we can get some deals made with these countries before these tariffs kind of run out or take effect. We've seen the worst, right? We've seen the worst, and that's when he first rolled them out. And now we've seen the floor, and that's where we are now. So where's that middle ground? Where's that middle ground with the markets? And that's what we gotta figure out. I do believe that Canada is going to be just fine with the United States. I think that they're going to work out a deal that's beneficial to both countries, Mexico as well. I think that they're going to be just fine. Them two countries right there, I'm not worried about. They're neighbors. Cooler heads will prevail. A good deal will get worked out. It'll benefit all countries, and that's where we'll land. But the big one is the big deals are going to be made in the Asian markets, and Japan's coming in today, to kind of talk about what's going on and how they can try to work out a deal. You have China meeting with Vietnam yesterday to try to boost trade over there. So it's a mess. It's a mess. It's all a goddamn mess, So yo, Heat, man. Canada's a mess. We're a mess too, brother. We're a mess over here too, man. It's obvious in the markets we're a mess, right? You don't know which way's up, which way's down. We're trading on news, right? We're not trading on fundamentals anymore. We're trading on news. And that's the last thing you want to be trading on is news, right? You want to be trading on fundamentals of the market, and that's just not where we are. To the polls we go. Yeah. It's the only thing you can do, right? Like try to figure this thing out. I mean, granted, I think that there needs to be tariffs. It is what it is. You gotta set up trade equal and equitably across the board. But you know, there's a way to do things, and there's a way to roll things out, right? There's a way to roll things out, and it sometimes it's about how you cook the meal. It depends on how it tastes at the end, and that's just kind of how it is. And when you mess up the recipe, and you know, or you put in there, or you're putting in there in that meal stuff people don't like, the end product usually isn't pretty good. So a lot of times it's how you cook the meal. Depends on what you get in the end. So we'll see. We'll see. The hour just turned red. So much for it being green, right? So much for that being green. Bitcoin down to 63.8, falling under 80. I mean 83.8, falling under 84,000 again. So starting to move its way back down. Like I said, this market's so up and down. You can play this thing. You really can play this thing, and you really can get some good deals, and you really can, DCA your way into projects. But you better know what you're doing. In a market like this, you better know what you're doing. And I'm telling you, don't go in and just do any market buys. Put in limit buys. Because a lot of times, if you just sit on your limit buys for a minute, you're going to be able to get these cryptos at a lower price, whether it be in the hour or whether it be in a day. There's usually a downside within that 24 hours that you could be able to pick stuff up pretty cheap. So let's go talk about Avalanche, sitting at $18.84. Definitely on a downhill right now. And you guys know how I feel about Avalanche. I think Avalanche is going to be the biggest blockchain for gaming as we roll this thing out. And anything under $20 on an Avalanche is definitely a steal. I've been saying that forever. I was saying that when it was at $16. I'm saying it again when it's at 18. I'll say it again when it's at 20. Anything under 20 is a steal. Chainlink sitting at $12.13 right now, losing a little bit of steam. But you look at Chainlink, guys. A lot of these projects have had a major run up. A lot of these top 20 projects have had a major run up at some point, right? At some point, except for Chainlink and Ethereum, right? Bitcoin had its major run up to over 100,000. Ethereum didn't hit that run. Ethereum has yet to run. XRP had that major run up from 30, 40, 50 cents up to over $2. BNB had that major run up to almost 700. Solana had this major run up here. It went from like 50, 60 all the way up to over 100 and some odd dollars. It had its double up run up. Tron had a major run up. At one point, it was sitting around 30 something cents. And Tron is so stable though, between 23 and 25 cents, man. It is just holding that line right there, man. It's almost acting like a stable coin right now, which is good for people who are DCAing in. Cardano had their major run up from like 20 cents all the way up to like $1.20 something. They had their major run up. Avalanche had a big run up. Chainlink and Ethereum are the only two sitting in that top 20 who haven't really ran yet. They haven't really taken off yet. So we'll see. They need their run up. Tron looking well. Yeah, Tron is like, it's so steady, right? It's so steady, Fairground. It's you gotta, this lets me know that either the major investors or the team are holding that floor, and they're holding it pretty damn steady, man. So it hasn't had a real major dump. 22 cents, maybe it gets down there and it gets right back up to 23 cents. Now sitting at 25 cents. It's just trading in that range. Yeah, Pelosi says stop buying the Birkin bags, baby. China exploited everybody, man. Like China, I don't know, man. It's funny as hell, man. China's like putting all these brands on blast over there. And yo, man, I tell you, man, like when two titans go after it, you just got to sit back and pop your popcorn and watch the show. And that's what's going on right now. You got two titans that are battling right now. You got China and the United States, two big dogs that are going at it. And at the end of the day, the truth will come out, about what's really going on in this world, right? When you get two alphas that square off against each other, the truth will come out. It's just a matter of how blind are you to the facts, right? And are you open-minded enough to say, you know what, this is happening over here in the United States, and this is happening in China, and we've been lied to about this, and we've been lied to about that. And are you open-minded enough to see the facts, or are you blinded enough where you're going to stay in your comfort zone the whole time? China. Yes, these bags are from China. All right, Junior, go clock in, brother. Go do your thing. Stay warm, baby, because it's snowing over here. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button if you're new here, guys. Got a bunch of people watching the stream. Hit that like button over there on X. Hit that share button over there on X. Hit that follow button over there on X if that's where you're at. But Junior, go clock in. Go do your thing. But, yeah, I mean, getting back into it, Chainlink and Ethereum are the only two projects in the top 20 who haven't had a really major run to the upside, right? Everybody else has kind of had their day, right? They've kind of already had their day and they made their run, and they're looking for that second leg up. But Chainlink and XRP hasn't even had that first leg yet. I mean, even Stellar, right? You look at Stellar sitting at 23 cents. Stellar came up from 9 cents to 27 cents to 23 cents, right? That was that first initial push up. That was that first initial run. Now they're looking for that next move. But, and that's why, like, I think that Chainlink is really going to make a huge monster run because they didn't get their first one yet. They just didn't get their first run yet, but it's coming. You got Shiba Inu actually making some decent moves as well. I mean, it's sitting here, it's hanging on at number 16. It's hanging on, we'll see. I don't think SHIB's got much left. I think it's got a 10x in it. If we hit a massive altcoin season, I think SHIB's got a 10x in it. That's the best you're gonna get out of SHIB right now. Market cap's so big, it's gonna be hard to move that thing. It's gonna be hard to move that dial any harder than a 7 to 10x. But that's about all it's got left. I mean, it's just hard to move that dial. There's so many tokens, and the market cap is so high. That's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of money. It's gonna take a lot of money to move that thing, man. HBAR 15 cents, 15.7. What a smoking deal on HBAR right now at 15 cents. And HBAR, they just keep making moves out here behind the scenes, and they just keep making partnerships. They keep making moves. They keep integrating themselves into more and more governments. So, HBAR will not end up at 18. When this thing's all said and done, HBAR will not end up at 18. HBAR will be in the top 10. Honda, they just announced a lot, huh? Yo, did you see the hybrids though, Ken? I know that Honda's releasing the hybrid Civic, but did you see the hybrids that are coming out of China, man? Whew, them joints are decked out, man. Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is like, I mean, when you look at Honda, you look at the tariffs. The tariffs are going to do one of two things. They're either going to work or they're not going to work, right? But it's a dangerous game you play when you roll them out the way that you roll them out. It's not that I disagree with the tariffs. I disagree with the rollout, right? The rollout's flawed. It's how you make the meal, right? It's kind of how you make the meal. Um, it's there's a lot of stuff that could have happened behind the scenes that could have avoided a lot of this chaos. Not saying I'm against them. I'm really, but I think that there's some fair trade, right? I think that there's some fair trade that you got to talk about. Like when you get a country like Canada, let's say, that's their population is about as big as California, right? You can't expect them to buy as much goods as the United States. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Like you gotta know the population size, right? But when you look at somebody like India, who has the largest population in the world, you would expect your trade deals with them to be equal, to be a one for one, right? But you can't go a one for one on everybody because population size doesn't dictate that you're even able to go for a one to one on everybody. I mean, it's crazy. It's how you cook the meal, man. A lot of times, Ken, it's how you cook that meal, and you either gonna take that steak and you're gonna burn that son of a bitch, and it's or you're gonna take your time and massage that thing and marinate that thing and make it taste phenomenal, right? So it melts in your mouth. So it's how you cook that meal, man. You know. But yo, these two titans, man, America and China are gonna go at it, and America and China, this trade war is not gonna end anytime soon. So the only hope you have right now is that um, the EU nations, the Americans, and everybody else come together and are able to, you know, show a united front. But if you see nations start to splinter off and make deals, yo, that could be trouble, man. That could definitely be trouble. Um, you know, but yo, it is what it is. Like I said, pop your popcorn, watch the show. That's all you can do. You can't get mad. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? What else you gonna do? But watch the show. And try to take advantage of the situation. I've been buying the Mag Seven like crazy over there on the stock market. I've been buying the Mag Seven. I've been staying away from Facebook though and Google because I everybody goes to like Chat GPT or Grok or Grok or Gemini or basically the AI plays like that, right? You don't see too many people going over to Google now and typing in a search and then hitting on one of them blue links. They usually go right to the AI site, right to the AIs. They ask the question, they get their answer, boom. So I think so. A lot of that ad revenue is going to go down on them, and we'll see. But I've been buying a lot of the Mag Sevens. I've been staying away from Tesla though, because I'm watching some of these hybrids and some of these electric vehicles that are starting to roll out that we're starting to get an insight to, and you realize how far behind Tesla is, right? You realize that Tesla itself is that shit looks like the Flintstones. Them cars look like the Flintstones compared to some of these other cars that these other countries have, and so I don't know if they open up these markets. If they open up these markets and they allow some of these other electric vehicles to come in, Tesla's going to be in trouble because they look like the Flintstones compared to them guys, man. But look at Pi. Pi pulled back to 61 cents, but that's pretty healthy pullback because Pi had a pretty good run up in the 70-cent range before it pulled back another 10 cents. It's actually holding on. Pi is actually holding on pretty damn good. I expected a bigger pullback from Pi than what we got when the market started to pull back, but Pi is actually doing really, really well in this market. So big props to them. Big props to them. Of course, we're gonna get into some Pepe here in a minute. Look at that joint sitting at 5071, baby. 5071. You say pie? I said pie, baby. I said pie. Elmo, I said pie, baby. PI, baby. PI, PI, PI. NAFTA took jobs. Yeah, NAFTA was probably one of the worst bills ever signed. It took jobs right out of the United States, took manufacturing, took manufacturing out of the states, out of the United States. Basically, NAFTA pimped out the United States markets, right? They basically pimped out the workers, right? They said, you know, when you go to the lowest, you go to the person with the cheapest labor, right, and produce your goods, and then NAFTA is what made the United States and even some of the European nations consumer nations instead of producer nations. And it was probably one of the worst bills. Looking back at it, you know, hindsight being 2020, looking back at it, it was probably one of the worst bills, signed into law because of that. And basically, it was a pimp. It was a pimp move. You know, they pimped out the American workers to the lowest, you know, to the lowest bidder. Basically, what happened? They pimped the factories out to the lowest bidder. You know, and by lowest bidder, I mean cheapest labor. Uh, and when you look at it, you know, you look at some of these factories that are up and running right now. You know, they're being ran by robots and machines, right? And they're running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And the only people that are working in them factories are the people that are programming the machines. And if you want to get manufacturing back in the United States and the EU nations, you're going to have to come to the realization that it's not going to be manned by people putting widgets together on an assembly line. You know, it's going to be manned by robots and machines, and the new wealth for people in manufacturing is going to be the people that can program the machines. And people need to come to the realization of that. UAW needs to come to the realization of that as well. Labor is expensive, and when you have people that are working in these factories and they're fighting for more wages, they're fighting for more insurance, they're fighting for, you know, all of these things. Eventually, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up with robots doing a job, you know, and that's people need to come to that realization, you know, and quit acting like manufacturing jobs are coming back here. And they're going to be filled with people filling out, you know, putting widgets together on an assembly line. Them days are gone. This market's so fucked. Oh man, I don't think so. I don't think it's. Glenn, I just think that we're in a sideways pattern, right? I just think that we're just trading sideways. Is all we're doing. You know, that's it. It's just a big, huge consolidation period, and it's because none of the markets and none of the countries know which way to go. They don't know They don't know what the outcome of all of this is going to be, right? You know, look at Ondo sitting at 81 cents. That's an absolute steal right now. You know, just 2 days ago, it was sitting at 91 cents, right? So you look at a 10-cent pullback just in 48 hours, right? That may not seem like a lot, but a project pulling back 10 cents in 48 hours, that's a decent pullback. That's a decent step backwards. But you know, that's a great opportunity as well. But look at OM trying to recover itself. Sitting at number 76, right? This thing dropped out of the top 100 on Wednesday. I mean, on Monday when we were streaming. Kept coming back up to number 76, sitting at 79 cents, right? So, tell me in the chat, do you think that OM is going to be a top 10 crypto again? Do you think it's going to make its way up to a top 10 again after the liquidity run that they had on their project? Some people are saying that the devs sold off on the project. Some people are saying it was the whales. Some people are saying, you know, it was different people. But will OM be a top 10 project again and be a player in the real world tokenized asset space again? Like, I mean, it's worked its way back up to 76 again. It fell out of the top. It fell out of the top 10, basically, top 15, basically. But will it work its way back up? I mean, do people have enough confidence in this particular project to push it back to where it was, or did this project destroy itself? You know what I mean? And that's kind of the question. Do people have enough confidence? And it looks like there's confidence coming in. You look at the 24-hour trading volume, it's $1.46 billion. So, people are putting money back in this thing and trying to recover this thing the best that they can. I just don't know if it's going to get the steam and the luster that it had before. Yeah, it would have made it already. I can see that. I said on Monday Fairground, when projects have issues like this, right? If they can't recover the project within the first week and a half, usually they'll never come back to where they were, right? To where they were. You gotta have a pretty freaking good PR team, and you got to be out ahead of everything, really to make the comeback. But the worst thing any project can do is liquidity, right? That's basically a rug. That's the definition of a rug pull. You go look up a rug pull. It's all based around liquidity, right? Whether that's a liquidity pull, whether that's dumping liquidity, whatever you want to call it, right? But and that's basically what happened. Is they had a run on these exchanges, and it was a coordinated run. Call it what you want. When you go back and you look at the data, and you look at where tokens were moved to, it was a coordinated move to the exchanges and then coordinated dumps. That doesn't happen with just investors and traders out here. Just going. Nobody's in a TG group going, hey, let's move millions and millions of OM to this exchange and that exchange, and then let's dump it at these particular times and get a run on liquidity. That's not what happens. That's not how that happens, man. So yeah, you find it the same all over the place, Fairground, but to find it in a top 15 token is very, 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 that's a bold move. But their liquidity was always low, which was always one of the things that you always had to question about this particular project, was their liquidity, right? When you looked at the liquidity that they had in their project, they were almost acting like a meme coin, right? With how much liquidity they had in there, which always was a red flag to a lot of people. Let's see where they're at now. High market cap, low liquidity is never a recipe for success. You look at even still when you look at this. Looking for the liquidity is still low. The liquidity is still low. So, I mean, that's always that's a problem for OM. Until they inject a bunch of liquidity into this project, they're always going to have that question, and that's going to be, if they don't, I mean, literally, they're acting like a meme coin with that market cap to liquidity ratio. That's not where you want to be as a project. It's just not where you want to be. You don't want to be a top 15 token with your liquidity looking like your shit coin Inu. So we got the total three over here. The total three market cap for on a daily. Looks like it's starting to eat the day up a little bit. Starting, but you look at it, see it's overbought right now. It's overbought, starting to come down a little bit, sitting at 749.4 billion. We'll see if we can inject some more volume into these altcoins today. That's what's going to move this chart right here. So that's the big deal, is can we get this thing above 800 bill is probably the best target that we have right now, 800 billion. So let's see if we can get this, get that thing up to 800 bill today. That's a key level. We look at Pepe, 507120 right now. Definitely looks like it's on it's oversold right now on the day. So definitely you see the cross happen right here. Looks like it's starting to work its way down a little bit. So we may see a little bit of a pullback in Pepe's price today, probably 507, probably 5070, somewhere up in there. Depending on market conditions. You look at it, this is 5 zeros. This is roughly right here around 507, 5068 up in here, where it was oversold up in here. So before I had to run a little bit of a run up right there. So you can kind of expect the same thing. If the market conditions kind of play out the way that they have in the past. I mean, you look at it, it's pretty consistent all the way across. When you look at that price level, right? So you can play this thing. You can play this thing for 50668, 50669, somewhere up in there. Is usually a pretty safe, pretty solid bet when it comes to Pepe and your buy levels right now. Look at Nvidia. Where's Nvidia at? 109. Definitely Nvidia is looking strong this morning. We'll see where it's at, but we're definitely looking strong this morning. Ethereum, where's Ethereum sitting at? Continues to trade in this channel right here. Just continues to trade in this channel right here. Keeps hitting the top of this channel and bouncing out. Definitely looks like it is coming to the overbought territory here. So definitely looks like it might be pulling back just a little bit, just a tad bit, not much. But like I said, Ethereum hasn't had that run yet. We'll see if it makes a run. I'm not quite sure that it's going to. Look at Bitcoin, way up here in overbought territory. 84,000 right now, way up here on the RSI and overbought. We may be coming down a little. If we were to draw this channel right here, you would see that it would be at the top side of this channel right here. Just this little channel right here would be at the top side. So it keeps touching it, like a theoretical channel right here. It keeps touching the top side and coming off. So 84 looks like 84,000 is the mark. Probably 84.5, somewhere up in there is where you have to get to really have a break to the upside. One that we don't talk about, we probably should, is Airdrome. Airdrome Finance looks like it's overbought right now on its way back down, sitting at 38 cents. The crazy part about this is Airdrome launched at 31 cents. It launched right around 31 cents. So you're almost at launch price. This thing was up around $2 and some change, right? $2 and some change, probably almost touching $3. And definitely, sitting at 38 cents right now, that definitely could be an opportunity right there. It's damn near at launch price. I hate to say how low can you go, but when you're starting to get down towards your launch price, you got to look at buying something. SPX 6900, the other meme coin that I think is going to make an absolute run. This bull market sitting at 45 cents. Still, it's much like Pepe. And the reason I say it's because I look at it just like Pepe. First of all, it's cross train. It's cross chain, right? So you can buy it on Base, you can buy it on Ethereum, you know, and they're pegged, right? So that's one plus. And the other plus is look at this support right here in this range right here. Look at this thing. It looks just like the Pepe chart, literally, straight across the board. So it's traded between this 45 and 50 cent level right here, and just all the support, all the sideways action for the support right here is absolutely crazy. You don't usually see a meme coin trade like that. You usually see a bunch of volatility, up, down, up, down, up, down. So it definitely, I definitely like SPX 6900 because of that. It just seems to be able to hold on. And when a project can do that, much like Pepe, we say, well, eventually it's just going to take off. Eventually it's just going to take off. And then you have Ado, we looked at sitting at 82 cents, starting to come up a little bit. Start to see it starting to on the RSI come down a little bit. It was this was 91 cents at the top of this thing, right around 91 cents, and that was yesterday. That was yesterday. So you start to see it come down a little bit, just because it hit that high at 91 cents for a couple days, right? Like it's having a real hard time getting back out of that dollar mark, right? It's having a really hard time. And we'll see. We'll see if it can bit. It was over $2, just a couple months ago, but really struggling every time it tries to get to $1. Uh, yeah, I agree, brother. It's about how much you can grow, and when you're almost at your floor. When you're almost at your floor, I mean, you're almost at your launch price. I mean, at some point, we talked about this with Hex, right? And Pulse, right? When you're down 90 something percent off of your all time high, where else can you go? Where else can you go? You can only go up, right? You can only go up, or you can go to zero. Big Watch dude, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? And my bet is that you ain't going to zero, so you can only go up. So we talked about that with Hex, right? And Pulse X and Pulse Chain and all that. Like eventually you get to a point where you're like, you know what, we're gonna take a chance on you. You know what I mean? We're gonna take a chance on you. You're so far down, we're gonna take a chance on you because even 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 you not even getting back to your all-time high, you're double or a 10x, right? So like it's one of these things where you got to look at the fundamentals, right? And say, is this a good fundamental place for us to go, right? Is this a good fundamental place for me to get in, right? Because like someone said, where can you grow? Where can you grow from there, right? So but yeah, like Ando, I mean, you're starting to see it. It's oversold right now, so you got to let people sell off, take their profits, and then let it come back up. It's just kind of the way we roll, right? It's kind of how crypto is, and you got to have a stomach for crypto. You got to have some big balls when you're dealing with crypto. You got to be able to hold through the volatility. But I'm so impressed with Pepe though. Look at this. This chart is just so. I mean, how can you not look at this chart and go on a daily and go, you know what? They're holding the line. They're holding the line. And, the only thing you need is Ethereum to go on a run, a little bit of a run, and Pepe will absolutely run just because of what it is. Pepe will take off, Where is my boy? I gotta check up on. Look there's another one right there. Flare. Don't sleep on Flare. At these low prices at a penny four. Flare is another one. If you pull the chart back, it's just solid. It's just a solid project. It just keeps plugging along and doing its thing, and just keeps, you know, a solid floor right around that 1 cent 3, 1 cent 5 range. It's just a solid, and these are the projects that you're looking for in these times, right? Um, and that's why I talk about them and review them to you, because these are the types of projects that when you look at them, you got to say, can these withstand a downturn? Well, they've shown the ability to, right? And without a tremendous amount of volatility, yeah, there will be some volatility in there, but will there be a lot of volatility in there? PopCat, man, I'm starting to get more and more bullish on PopCat. I own a little bit of PopCat. I wish I would have bought a little bit more when it was down in the teens. So I'm kind of hoping that this thing pulls back a little bit, because I think I'm gonna go in a little bit heavier on this meme project right here. And, you know, we don't talk a lot about memes, but I think I'm gonna go in a little bit heavier on this meme project, just because it's one of the ones that we've been talking about on here for a while, off and on. It's just going to be listed on every tier one exchange that you could possibly be listed on, and I think it'll have a positive move, right? Yeah, this thing was, you know, I mean, when we first started talking about it, this thing was 10 cents or lower, up to 23 cents right now. I did buy some in the teens. I'm looking to see if it has a pullback into the teens. If it does, I'm probably gonna buy a little bit heavier there. But again, I like how this project is hanging on, much like SPX 6900 and Pepe. PopCat seems to have a community that's just holding the floor, and they're holding it well, and it's sitting at 142, sitting at 142.6 million in 24-hour trading volume. Right, so that's not small change, and it's only 234.4 million in market cap. So it's one of these ones, you know, I'll take a chance on it. You know, I mean, we'll throw some money in there and see where it goes. But yeah, definitely gonna wait for that thing to pull back. Hopefully, it pulls back into the teens so I can get a little bit more of that. And but I do think it's gonna make a major run, because it's on all the tier ones, and that's where you want to be. So before we get out of here, let's go ahead and take one last look at this market. 84K, Bitcoin's back up to 84K. See if we can hold on to this 84K and start to make a run to the upside. It seems like 84K is a struggle right now for Bitcoin to hang on to. Ethereum at $1,584 hasn't really moved much. See if we can get back up to 1600, 1600 for Ethereum, and see if it can just start to set itself in right there. XRP still the same price, $2.08, holding on really well. That $2 target is definitely a target that everybody has for XRP, to see if it can hold that line. Even if it dips down, I'm buying. If it dips below $2, I'm buying. And we'll see. As long as it stays above $2, I'm gonna stay on the sidelines with what I have. But if it drops below, I'm adding to, because I do think $5 is a legitimate target for XRP here pretty soon, with the big acquisition of Hidden Road and the ETFs coming out, and a stablecoin bill getting close to being passed. And I think RLUSD is going to be a monster in that bill. So I do think like all of that right there will push this price to $5. So anything under $2, I mean, you're looking at a nice come up at a $5 mark, right? You're looking at a decent payday there. Obviously, we were buying way below $2, but you're looking at a big payday there. So I'm under $2. I'm buying. BNB, just kind of holding on, man. I'm surprised BNB hasn't busted above that $600 mark yet, but it's holding on at 582. Struggling a little bit right now, you know, just to be honest with you, just struggling a little bit. Scottish, what's up? Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Solana sitting at 126. It's holding on right around that 125 mark. Let's see if we can get back to 128. Just the other day, it was right around 130, 131, 132. Let's see if we can get back up to that 128 level. I do think though that Solana's got a $300 target on it. If the market turns around, it's got a $300 target on it. I know people are saying that Solana's going to absolutely take off and go to 1,000 or something. Yeah, we'll see. Let's get to three bills first, right? Let's get to 3 bills before we start talking crazy like that. But Tron holding steady at 25 cents right now. Cardano at 60 cents is an absolute steal right now. So no, but Powell is speaking today. Powell is speaking at a conference today, but today's not Fed Day. But Powell is definitely speaking at a conference today. I don't think today's Fed Day. I hope I didn't miss that. I don't think so. But I know he's speaking at a conference, and it's going to be interesting to see what he says about tariffs, right? Yeah, Cardano is where it is, and let's see if OM can recover itself. It's back up into the top 100, sitting at 77 right now. Like I said, 77. So it's come up 1 point. It's come up 1 position since we started talking. Let's see if it can recover itself. Sitting at 78 cents. Let's see. Will it get back up to the top 10? I don't know. That's a stretch, right? But it's interesting because I've been watching this thing since this thing unfolded, right? And $1.42 billion in 24-hour trading volume. That's a lot of trading volume. That's a lot of volume going through OM right now. That's a lot going on. Like I said, it's definitely looking like there's some sort of recovery taking place here. How far it will go, how far it will recover, I don't know. That's yet to be seen. But there's definitely something going on over there where you better keep your eye on it, right? And if you want to take a chance, you take a chance, But definitely something to watch for. No, I didn't watch the CoffeeZilla video yet with the OM devs. I know the OM devs are coming out saying it wasn't them. It wasn't them. It wasn't their investors. That's a hard sell because it looked like it was if you go back to on-chain data, it looked like it was coordinated dump on the exchanges. It's a hard sell. You got to dump a lot of tokens to have that big of a price impact, but they do have to do something with their liquidity, like we were talking about earlier. Scottish, their liquidity is so low. They were acting like a meme coin. They have to inject more OM into their liquidity pool. The market cap to liquidity ratio was always way off, and they need to fix that balance. It's going to get interesting to see what they do. Like I said, these projects that go through these hard times, they usually got about a week and a half in order to recover themselves and put a good PR scheme out there. And I seen that he did it with interview with CoffeeZilla, which I thought was a good pick to do one with CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla has a huge following, so I thought it was a good pick for him to go out there and do that interview and try to get ahead of this thing and try to put some sort of reasoning behind what happened. But ultimately, you got a week. You got about a week and a half before people get exhausted, and they just are like, yeah, okay, whatever, same song, same dance, right? But if you can get out ahead of it and you can really start to make some strides to the upside, people might FOMO back in, and at least they're trying to do that. You know what I mean? I'll give them credit for trying to do that. And it's one I'm really watching. That I'm watching that volume right there. That's the key. That 24-hour volume for me is the key. That's really what I'm paying attention to. Because if they can keep that volume above 1 billion, that's a shit ton of volume, and it's going to move the price. One way or another, it'll move the price. So I'm really watching that. But the market itself, I mean, it just looks like a tricks today. It looks like a mixed bag of tricks this morning. It really does. We'll see. We'll see where this thing goes today. Can't call it, right? This market's bipolar. It really is bipolar. It's up, it's down, sideways, up, it's down, it's sideways. So the best thing to do, the best way to play this market is just have your targets. Just have your targets for buying specific projects and narrow your bags down. Don't try to DCA into everything. Narrow your bags down to about three tokens. Have your targets, set your limit orders, and just hit your targets, because I'm telling you, you can look at the charts 1 minute and then turn around and go somewhere else, and the next thing you know, it hit your target and then boom, came right back up. So that's just how bipolar these markets are. So just hit your targets, do what you got to do, and good day to you too, Elmo. But yeah, that's how I'm playing this market, guys. I'm not doing anything special. I'm not doing anything special. I'm not out here like, aping into a whole bunch of stuff. I've narrowed it down to 3 or 4 projects, and I just keep trying to hit my targets as the day moves on. For the longer haul, right? I think end of Q2, beginning of Q3, I think we're going to have a turnaround in this market. And I think that's where we're headed. I did put, like I said, the SQQ in today, the short on the tech stocks today. I did put that in. We'll see how that plays out as the day moves on in the stock market. But I don't think that the stock market's going to take off today. I think it's going to trade sideways or down. So I put the short in. We'll see if we can make some quick cash over there, and see what's going on. But other than that, on Friday, we'll be back at you guys, streaming again. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit that share button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. If you're over on X, hit that heart button. Hit that share button, and hit that follow button as well. If you're new here, if you haven't been here before, go ahead and do that. Take care of that. Appreciate it. Channel really appreciates it. And I really appreciate each and every single one of you guys who show up here every morning and hold it down for the DGs and make the chat lively. And we'll see what's up. And I'll get back at you guys on Friday. You guys have a great day, man. And go buy some crypto today. Go buy some crypto today. Yeah, Ken, thank you, brother. And I'll see you, and see you on Friday, and the rest of the DGs. And we appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys have a good one. We up out of here. Bye.